to get started. Again, very excited about this. We do this one time per year, and it always is one of our most popular webinars of the year because we want you guys to be successful. As you're thinking about 2026, the time to be planning that out is now. And there have been so many changes in marketing, even just in the last 12 months when we think about, we've got to worry about like ChatGPT now. How do we get our practice recommended by ChatGPT? You'll see more and more people, maybe they've done events in the past pre-COVID, and those are kind of have a comeback now as well. So we're going to be talking about your 2026 marketing plan and how you can go about positioning yourself as that number one go-to provider in your local area. Just a little bit about us. I know a lot of you guys are frequent visitors of our webinar here, but for those of you that have never heard of us before, we have Lori and Sherry here from Medical Marketing Whiz. And our biggest mission, we've been doing this, this is going to be our 10th year here coming up. And we are very, very passionate about what we do and who we work with. Our ultimate goal is we have the privilege of having a megaphone where we can let patients know who the best providers are that are out there in their area. People that offer specialized services, advanced services, providers such as yourselves that are going to extra conferences, learning new skills, bringing in new equipment that is very different than what they're going to get at the hospital-owned practice. And so we also are very proud of the doctors that we work with. We have great relationships with them, and we're always looking when we think about who we want to work with is, who's going to be a good fit for our team as well. So again, thank you guys. All of you guys are leaders, obviously, just being on this webinar today and learning about things you can do to really set yourself apart for next year. Another real quick thing about us, I also pride ourselves on the fact that we have built an amazing team of women, and we have a couple of guys too. Got to give a shout out to the guys on the team. But our team is primarily I don't know, our team is mostly women. I don't know how else you say it. And that's really because a lot of times the women can be the healthcare decision makers in the family. We're making our appointments for ourselves and our kids and, our husbands, and we're doing the research for our aging parents and some of the things that they need to be thinking about. And everyone on our team are people that get these sort of treatments done. We are people that are very focused on our own health and wellness. And I think it helps us because we really can craft our strategy through the lens of, would this resonate with me? And I think that what you'll learn, especially as we go through this strategy with you today, is that a lot of the marketing agencies that are out there and a lot of the marketing gurus that give you advice, they're just basically saying, hey, run ads. We'll build you a page and we'll run ads and then you'll get all these leads, and then the leads don't end up converting into patients, and then they blame it all on you. When the truth of the matter is there's a lot more that goes into marketing in the wellness and longevity space than just running ads. And yes, ads is an important component of it, but our team really understands that entire patient journey. And we do focus primarily on the fields of women's health, longevity, integrative medicine, and aesthetics, which helps us be experts in these specific fields. We don't have to know every kind of medical condition that's out there. We're really focused on that real wellness arm of healthcare. Mm-hmm. I did want to give a quick shout out because we have some amazing partners that helped us get the word out for this webinar. So real quick, special thank you to MedShift, AmSpa. We're a platinum vendor with AmSpa, Miradry, EndyMed, the iRed sales group. They do shockwave therapy, DEXA, as well as the Women in Medicine and Emergent Wellness. Thank you guys so much for helping us get the word out about this webinar. And I know that it's going to be super helpful for all of your clients as well. So what we're going to go over, I'm going to warn you guys in advance, this is going to be a little bit longer than our normal webinar. I'm going to go through a lot of information in a short amount of time. And so we will send you the replay, and then you'll also get a couple of freebies to help you take this stuff to the next level. We're first going to talk about how are people going about finding you and choosing you these days. And I can tell you this has changed even in the last 12 months, what people are using to search for a doctor. We're going to talk about Google and ChatGPT. How do you actually know how to get recommended by these platforms? Google has its own AI answers now, where there's a whole strategy behind how you get recommended by that. And then, of course, our good friend ChatGPT, which more and more people are using to research health conditions and to research what providers they want to go to. And then we're going to focus on education-based marketing. And this is extremely important because in this space, people do not want to feel like their doctor or their nurse practitioner or their medical spa is just trying to sell them stuff. If at the end of the day, you are the best at educating your community, you will authentically be the best at marketing. And we'll talk to you about how to do that. We're going to lay out an entire 12-month plan. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to have some free gifts. So for any of you guys that joined a tiny bit late, you'll notice in the chat, a lot of people are putting in their websites. One of the free gifts at the very end of this is we are going to give away a free website. It's going to be on WordPress. It's going to include search engine optimization, and you will own this website from day one. So if you want to get in the raffle, just put in the chat your current website domain, or if you don't have one, just put in the name of your practice, and then you will be entered in that drawing, and we're going to tell the winner live at the end of the webinar. All right, so first thing, just looking at an overall playbook and what you need to be thinking about when you're putting a strategy together is first, you have to understand how are patients going about finding you and choosing you. And this is very different than how they go about finding and choosing a plumber or a roofer or where they're going to buy their next vehicle. Healthcare has a very different way about people finding you and choosing you. Then we're going to talk about how do you position yourself as that go-to, number one, undisputable go-to choice in your area, because it's not just about people finding you, they also have to choose you. And then we'll lay out that full 12-month strategy. Sherry, why don't I have you chime in here and talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, just how are people going about finding and choosing a provider?
Yeah, so a lot of times just look at how you yourself are looking for your provider. So maybe you need a pediatrician, maybe you're looking for a new gynecologist. How are you going through that process? So I know myself, the first thing I'm doing is asking for recommendations. So I'm asking a friend, I'm asking my physician if I need like a specialist, I'm asking for referrals and recommendations. After that point, I am then doing my own research. I'm going to Google, I'm looking for reviews, I'm looking for any more information that can help me qualify that recommendation. So I'm looking at the experience, the qualifications. Once I'm on Google, I'm going to that website. And again, why we're giving away a website is because it is one of the most important foundations of your business. It is your digital brick and mortar, essentially. So it's your first impression. So I'm looking at that website. I'm going through their experience. Do they have their credentials on there? Do they have any associations, any affiliations, things like that that's going to set them apart from another physician? Then I'm looking at the services. Do they offer the services I want? Do they have the best equipment? Are they up to date? If I'm going to a practice and I'm looking at their website and it feels outdated to me, I'm going to feel like they're not giving me the best advanced services that are available. So that's really that validation point. So there's a sequence of events that happens, and I'm sure all of you can corroborate with that. That's how you do it as well, is the recommendations, the Google, the validation, and just making sure we're picking someone that we know can give us the best care. So picking a physician and choosing a provider is very different than, buying a sweatshirt or, buying a coffee maker. We really want to see those credentials and qualifications and that this is our health we're talking about. So we want to put out there that we are offering the best service to the
Well, and
patient.
one thing you'll notice on here, you guys, does it say I choose my doctor from Instagram? Does it say I choose my med spa from Instagram? Now, is it good to be on social media and be omnipresent? Yes, absolutely. I mean, to be relevant, you have to be doing social media. But unfortunately, when Sherry and I do sales calls and marketing strategy calls with people and we ask them, what are you doing for marketing? So many people's entire strategy is running Instagram ads or posting on social media. And what that is just not something that makes the phone ring. You really need to think about like what you would do. If you had a health condition going on or you wanted to get Botox for the first time, like what sort of things are you going to do? You're not going to wake up in the morning and go to Instagram and go, you know what? I think I'm going to break up with this doctor that I've been going to for 25 years. And I'm just going to show up at this other place and pay cash for hormone services. And I have absolutely no idea who that person is. Yet most people's marketing strategy that's what they're doing. So we really want to kind of unravel that for you guys today. And I love this stat, even if, and I've even had the same thing, I needed a dermatologist. I asked my primary care doctor, they told me the name of a dermatologist. I still Googled the dermatologist. The dermatologist I looked that the doctor gave me had a 3.6 star review. Guess what? I'm probably not going there. I'm still going to conduct my own research. So even if word of mouth is where you're getting most of your patients, while that's fantastic, I can promise you they're still going to Google you even just to get your phone number. And they're still going to go through and look at your reviews and look at your.
Well, and that's a good point, Lori, too, because I have found myself in that camp as well, where I've gotten a referral from a physician, and then I did my research, and I was like, I want a different referral
Yeah.
because I'm not sold on this one. Because again, we do our own research as a consumer and a patient myself, and you wanna make sure you're getting the best of the best.
Yep, yep, absolutely. And so when you think about marketing, right, in this space, there's a lot to it. You're trying to take somebody that's a stranger that's never heard of you before, and you're trying to immediately say, hey, book an appointment with me. And you're spending, I had a call earlier today, Sherry and I both. This lady had spent $28,000 on ads in her first year and got no results. Well, when you look at what she was doing, is it was all stranger marketing and it's all, hey, become my patient. They don't know who you are yet, right? So first we've got to get them to visit your website. Whether they learn about it from social or they learn about it from something they got in the mail or they got a referral from a friend, then we want them to you to capture their information. So become a lead. Maybe they're registering for your webinar, just like you're on our webinar today. Maybe they are RSVPing for an event or downloading your free book, your free ebook that you have on your website. You want to make sure that you are collecting the contact information of these leads. They may not all be ready to become a patient right away. It doesn't mean they're a bad lead. It just means that they've got to sort of think about it. They got to still kind of continue to feel like crap for a little bit longer before they're like, you know what, I'm ready to take control of my health. And again, we're heading right into that season where everybody's going to be thinking about new year, new you, and all of that. So it's a perfect time to be planning this out. Now, you have your existing patients. So for those of you that have an established practice, you may have a lot of people that already fall into this bucket. You have to remember those people hang out with people like them. So I went through menopause at 41. I have been on bioidentical hormones and I've gone to a functional medicine doctor for the last 6 years. And I have sent 29 of my friends and their husbands and given them recommendations for the doctor that I go to. So even your own patients, number one, they don't know everything that you do. And number two, they hang out with people like them. So your lowest hanging fruit are going to be these people that are already in your practice and having them be those referrals for you to their friends and family.
Yep. And on that point, it's just to make sure you're hitting on each of those pathways with your marketing. So a lot of people, when we get on calls, we find out they're only focusing on this stranger visitor pocket.
Yep.
We want to focus on all of these different pathways because you're marketing differently to each of these sections.
Yes.
So
Great point.
don't just market the stranger, don't just market the promoter. You want to hit it in all the spots, and that's different ways in each spot.
Yep. Yep. Great point. So, quite simply, we got two jobs here. We have to make sure you get found in search and on AI when people are searching. But then remember, they're going to find two or three other people too. So then how do we get you to be that undisputable go-to choice? So we're going to kind of talk about step one is you've got to make sure that you're found in search. And then step two, we want to make sure you're positioned as that go-to authority. So one of the things that we are always happy to do is we do a full marketing analysis. This is about a 30-page report where we will do a scan of your website, your SEO, your online visibility, your social media. We can look up what ads are being run to your zip codes. We can talk about email marketing. So it's a very, very valuable kind of under the hood assessment that we can do on your marketing. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. What you want to do first, it's always a good idea to just do a little look at what people see when they look you up. So pretend you're a patient and you're going and you're looking for a doctor for hormone therapy or a chiropractor or a functional medicine doctor or an aesthetic office. And so we're going to go through this entire checklist. Sherry mentioned this earlier. Everything starts with your website. If your website cannot be found by Google and AI, everything else you're doing is going to be a complete and total waste of money. We also have to make sure you don't just have a pretty looking website, but that website actually has keywords on it and it has the right keywords on it so that people can find you. So that is your search engine optimization. And then AI, we call that answer engine optimization. We'll talk about reviews. Reviews are a big piece of Google's algorithm, specifically Google reviews. We'll talk about just some branding, adding your awards and credentials to your website, getting backlinks. We'll talk about how to get in the media with press releases. We're going to touch on social, email, texting, and then events and webinars. So first and foremost, how do you get found by Google? What actually does Google consider when they're determining who they're going to rank? A lot of times it's frustrating because you think, well, geez, I have more reviews than everybody else. Why is somebody else ranking higher than me? Because reviews is a piece of the puzzle, but it's not the whole thing. A lot of times I'll also talk to different providers and they have somebody, quote unquote, doing SEO, but the only thing that they're really doing is website SEO, and they're not doing any of the off-page SEO. So I'll sort of explain this here to you. So this is what Google looks for. So 30% of Google's equation is your Google business profile. And we will show you in a couple slides exactly how to optimize the back end of that profile. The beauty of your Google business profile, it is free for you to optimize. And again, a lot of times it's a very simple missing piece that people haven't been paying attention to, and they don't know that a few tweaks to it can significantly increase your website traffic and significantly increase the phone calls that your practice gets. Then we have 26% of the equation. 26% of the equation is your website content and your website search engine optimization. So if you have a website that looks really good, but under the hood of it, we do a scan and there's no keywords on this website, or you're being found for like one keyword that nobody is really even searching for. You have it's like the equivalent of having the most beautiful office with the best equipment, the best trained staff, all of that, and never putting a sign outside your building. It doesn't matter how great your office is. Nobody knows it's there. So search engine optimization, foundational on your website is important, and depth of content. So you must have a full page of content for every one of the major things that you do. And we'll talk a little bit about that here in a couple of minutes. We're also looking at links and citations. So essentially what this is everywhere else on the internet besides your website that is talking about your website. So it could be maybe you're listed as a Botox provider, and I go to the Allergan website and I type in find a Botox provider near me, and boom, you have a profile on there. Your profile is completed and your profile links back to your website. That's a backlink. Another example would be your social media profiles, right? Those also link back to your website. And then your Yelp profile, your Bing profile, those are also business directory listings and citations, as well as the other thing that we do for link building is press releases. And we'll talk about that in a minute on how to get mentioned in the media. Google reviews are another big piece of the puzzle, which makes sense, right? If you think about it, best hormone provider near me. Well, part of being best in the eyes of Google is who has been voted as the best, who has the best feedback online. Google reviews are the most important. Sometimes we'll have people that will have their reviews all on like realpatientratings.com. Well, guess what? You might have 500 reviews on realpatientratings.com, but Google doesn't care. Google wants the reviews on Google. And nobody goes to realpatientratings.com to find a doctor. They go to Google or they go to ChatGPT. And then also it looks at the behavior of your website. So is your page speed quick? Is it easy to navigate your site? And then personalization, is it all stock photos or do you actually have, real authentic photos of your team and your office space? Mm-hmm. So, Sherry, why don't you touch on, if you don't mind, a little bit on just like the features of a well-done website. So what are some of the things people need to keep in mind?
Yeah, so like I said at the beginning, the website is the next most important thing besides your physical location. So we want to make sure it's really standing out. We want a WordPress site. This is the gold standard for Google search engine optimization. High quality content. So we want a page for each of those services. We want Google to be able to index all of the services you offer, and they want a page for each content. And this is just where you can put more of those keywords, those FAQs, things like that that are going to help with both the chat GPT and the AI and your SEO. Personalized photos are big. When people come to your page, they don't want to see just stock images. They want to see what the physicians look like, what the office looks like, and get a look at it before they're coming into the office. Have clear call to action, so booking links, um, more info, things like that. You want clear call to action symbols on there. Have it at the top, have it at the bottom. Credibility symbols. So again, making you stand out from those competitors because like Lori said, you're going to get found, but so are a bunch of other people. So how are you getting chosen? And one of those is credibility symbols. Make sure you have got any affiliations you have, any credentials.
Like you'll
All
notice our background, right?
words.
Our
Yep.
background has credibility symbols. So think about, are you a member of your Chamber of Commerce? Are you a member of the
Names.
4M or the Age Management Medical Group? Or are you a five-star rated Google office? Or are you a board certified internal medicine physician? Just literally, like you could tell your website person this on tomorrow. Hey,
Mhm.
you need to add a banner on my website right below the hero image with all of these different things that set me apart. We have shown to increase the conversions on people's websites by up to 48% instantly by just people going to the page and it just from the credibility symbols, it screams expert, trusted, go to authority. It can be those little things that make a really big difference. You'll notice Dr. Jeffy's website over here. It's a picture of her. She's got her best doctor logo. She's got the different media
Yeah,
mentions that
yep.
she has. She's got her Google reviews. So it's very easy to go to this. It's like, oh, wow, she's an award-winning doctor. I can see who the doctor actually is. I can see what services she offers.
Well, and you want it before that fold too. So you want it up at the top so people don't have to scroll down to find your credentialing and your awards and all of that. You want it in that top part before you start scrolling. And then on that note, we want mobile friendly. So majority of people are searching for things on their phone. If your website's not mobile friendly, you're missing out.
Well, and
Fast
Google will
loading.
actually penalize
It
you.
will, yeah, yes. And then fast loading, again, that's another thing that Google looks for as well when they're ranking. And if you look at just your website functionality, you want people to go on there and stay on there. And if it's taking 5, 10 seconds to load, they're going to leave and go to another site.
Yep.
And then you want that technical and on-page SEO, which we'll cover a little bit down a couple slides here, and then analytics on tracking on that. So you can see who's visiting your website, how long are they staying on your website, and this helps you learn how it's performing and if any tweaks or adjustments need to be made. We can redirect things to those people. So we want to make sure all of that's in place for a well-done website that Google's going to be able to find and like.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so this is the other big mistake. I think people, especially when they're starting out, they think they're saving money by going on and you're, doctor or medical spa owner or chiropractor by day, and you think you're going to be a web designer by night. Or your niece knows how to build websites, or so she says she does. And so she's going to build you a website in Wix. Well, guess what? Google is not going to find this website. And you might have the best looking website in the world, but unfortunately, these do it yourself platforms are very limited in their search engine optimization. They're honestly not really designed for somebody who needs to get found in Google. What they are great for is, let's say my high school daughter wants to run for student council president and she needs a website that she can get up really fast so her classmates know all of the things that she's going to do to make the school better next year. That is really what those sites are. She doesn't care if Google ever finds this website, right? Or like your son's soccer team needs a simple page, right? It's not really designed for somebody that needs to get found in search. And so what happens when you have a website that's made in Wix or GoDaddy Builder or Squarespace or Weebly or any of these DIY platforms, you have to spend so much more money in cold traffic marketing because organically you're not going to be found. So Again, this is why one of the reasons why we want to give away a website here on the call today. So anybody that joined late, if you want to be in the drawing for the website, put it in the chat and you will be entered. And at the end, we're going to give away a free website. This is the social proof piece. So again, just adding that social proof can increase your conversions of your website up to 48% instantly. Sherry kind of talked about this. Just take an inventory. What are all the things that make you special? Your board certifications, awards, affiliations. Maybe you're a center of excellence. You've got 5-star reviews. And this should be, again, right below the fold of your website with all of the things that make you stand out and why people should come to you. I do also want to just mention, awards. Look for opportunities when your Best of City award is happening. Those sort of things. Sometimes there's like peer awards like Castle Conley. These are great marketing opportunities for you. I know some of these awards are complete BS and you're like, I don't even know what that award is. You know what? At the end of the day, though, it is credibility building. So when those opportunities come up, I wouldn't just immediately dismiss them because it's a reason for you to do a press release. It's a reason for you to send an email out. It's social media content that you can have. It's a credibility symbol that you can add to your website, all of which, all that traffic you're paying your hard-earned money to get to your website, it's going to increase the conversions. So we talked a lot about websites. I want to touch on Google Business because this is really Google Business and other listings are kind of that thing that you don't always see, but actually have a significant impact on people finding you. Because the other thing I want to mention is the people that are searching on Google and the people that are searching on ChatGPT, these are better quality leads for you because these people are searching for the service or they're researching their health condition. The person that's on Instagram, the person that's on Facebook, the person that's on TikTok is on there to be entertained. They're looking at somebody got a new dog, so-and-so's going on vacation. They're not on there looking for a new provider. So focusing on getting found in Google and AI is so much more important than the daily stuff that you're doing on social. So what is a Google business profile? Your goal is to get in what we call the Google 3-pack. These are going to be the top 3 listings when somebody searches. In this case, they're looking for a gynecologist with a med spa near me. Your profile looks something like this. So you'll notice this doctor's got great photos, personal photos of her team. She also has a 4.8-star review with 508 reviews. And then she's ranking in those top 3. 90% of the phone calls are going to the clinics that show up in these top 3 results. The beauty of this is none of these are paid. So all 3 of these practices here that are showing up in the top 3 are organically getting that spot without having to pay Google a cent. So how do you do that? Under the hood of your Google profile, you want to first make sure you claim your listings. This is extremely important, especially if you've ever moved. Like, let's say you used to work for a hospital system and now you have a private practice. You might be surprised to know that there's a listing out there for you somewhere that still has where you were at before. Or maybe you opened up a second location. You want to make sure that you have those claimed. You claim them by, sometimes you can do a phone call, sometimes you can do a postcard, and sometimes they make you do this very inconvenient video. But Google is basically making sure that people aren't putting fake businesses online. So there is a verification process. And then under the hood of your profile, just like on your website where you have a page for every service, you need to have all of your services listed on Google. Your business category. So a lot of times we'll do a strategy call and it's a doctor, let's say it's a gynecologist, and they have their profile listed as doctor or medical center. Well, when you have yourself listed as doctor or medical center, you are getting lumped in with every single doctor of every single kind of medical specialty that there is, and you are not going to get found when someone is searching for specifically your specialty. So in this scenario, this is a medical spa. So their primary category is medical spa, but then they can have up to 9 secondary categories. So you can see they've got facial spa, they've got skincare clinic, they got hair removal and laser hair removal services because those are all things that they do there. So you can add some of those secondary categories. You want to go in and update your business description. If you haven't done this in a couple of years, go on, make sure you're looking and, maybe you bought a new piece of equipment. Make sure that you have that service added in there. And then also there's a little section called from the business. And you can add if you're a woman-owned business, you're a minority-owned business, you're a veteran-owned business, you do get a little bit of a boost in Google for some of those attributes that you can add, and then lots and lots of photos. So you'll notice here, this is actually straight from Google. Businesses that have photos on their Google business profile will get 35% more click-throughs to their website. And I think I'm covering it up. 42% more requests for driving directions than businesses that do not have photos. A little trick on these photos. You want to name the photo with keywords. So rather than uploading 12345.jpg, you would want to put urogynecologist, Boston, Massachusetts.jpg, or best women's health doctor, Boston, Massachusetts.jpg, right?
Well,
So,
and you can
go
go
ahead.
a little further than that too and geotag your photo. So there are apps that you can load it in, and then it geotags your location, and then you can load the photo in after that. And then on top of this, just to chime in with the photos, Google right now is going through an update where they want, so if this is something you can do after this call, check your Google profile, make sure you have a external picture of your building because they're requiring that now for a completed profile.
Oh, good. Yeah, good help.
So make sure you're updating that and going out. And these are the things that we try to stay on top of because there's constant little updates happening. They're adding attributes. They're taking suggestions from users, and you want to go in and approve or deny those suggestions. But yeah, one that just came up was they are now wanting the exterior of the building. They're just doing an update. So make sure after you get off this call,
Yeah,
you
and
go
if
and
you
update
don't,
your
a lot of
profile.
times they'll put like a picture of the dumpster behind your building.
Yeah,
You don't even realize like that's what's showing on Google. So
right.
all right. So nice thing is this is measurable before and after. This is a 90-day before and after increase in map views, increase in search views from just working on your Google business profile. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about these other listings, but I will tell you these are extremely important. So we talked a lot about the Google profile. You need to be on Yelp. Now, Yelp is going to call you and try to sell you a Yelp program. You can hang up on them. You do not need to buy their Yelp program. However, you do need a Yelp profile. Yelp is hooked to the iPhone and Apple Maps. So if you do not have a Yelp profile, you can be missing out on people that are searching on an iPhone or using CarPlay. In addition to that, Bing. So Bing is linked to ChatGPT, and Bing is also the default browser for anyone that has a Microsoft computer. So making sure that you have a Bing profile, those are kind of the big ones. Then you have all of your healthcare related listings. If you remember from my pie chart at the beginning, I talked about links. These are all authoritative business links that link back to you. So now when I'm searching for, hey, who's the best medical spa near me? It's not just your website that comes up in your Google profile, but all of the other directory listings that you're listed on. It helps you to dominate the search results.
Yep. And if you ever hear the phrase NAP, that's your name, address, phone number. And all those listings that Lori pulled up here is where we want your name, address, phone number to be consistent.
Yes.
So what we're looking at is the abbreviation the same everywhere? Is the phone number the same? Because if not, you're going to get dinged. So that's a big part of this, not only having those listings, but making sure they're accurate with the same name, address, phone number down to punctuation across these platforms.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Good point. Thanks for mentioning that. Link building also, this I would say is link building and authority building as press releases. And a lot of you guys are probably really advanced in marketing, and we may have been going over things that, hey, you know what? Good. I'm doing all of those things. This, for some reason, is the topic that I feel like everybody's like, that's a pretty good idea. I hadn't really thought about doing that before. So essentially what press releases are is this is sort of like having a blog article, but rather than that blog article living just on your website, we send that that article out via Newswire. So if you've ever seen somebody's website that has that they're as seen on ABC and NBC and CBS, these people are not actually interviewed on the news. They're using press releases as part of their search engine optimization strategy. So essentially what it is we actually use a Newswire service. And we send that article out, and you get guaranteed pickups on affiliates of ABC, NBC, CBS, the Associated Press, as well as dozens of radio stations, newspaper publications, et cetera. And you'll usually get between 100 to 150, sometimes more, media links. This increases the authority of your website domain. And then when somebody is searching for you, again, you dominate the search results because there are all these other websites that are talking about your website. So if you're maybe you've got a weight loss program and it's all about, how to avoid holiday weight gain, or you've got a New Year, New You event that's coming up. These are all, you hired a new provider, you've launched a new service. There's always a reason to do a press release. We do this as part of our ongoing search engine optimization strategy. And then we can add to your website as seen on ABC, NBC, and all that. Talking about reputation, this is another thing that I would set a goal for the next year to become obsessed with getting Google reviews. So this is a significant ranking factor. 70% of people are going to check a Google review before they choose a provider. Just make sure if you're going to be really simple with this, you just have to ask the happy people to leave your review. We get these little signs here made on Etsy. So you can go on Etsy, you can get a little QR code, a nice little sign for your check-in, your checkout, your treatment rooms. We also use software to survey patients, get their feedback, and then the happy people are the ones that we want to ask to leave reviews. Again, you can do things like business cards and things like that as well. The main point is you must ask for reviews. It is a major ranking factor, and it is also a major, major aspect of conversions of your marketing.
It's a big decision ranking factor.
Yeah.
So it plays a big role in the end user's decision making process.
Well, and I think about it like I'm going to look at reviews if I want Chinese food for dinner tonight. I am certainly going to look for reviews if I'm letting somebody mess with my hormones, or, I'm paying cash for some sort of service, or somebody's microneedling my face. They're definitely going to look up the reviews. One thing I do want to touch on real quick, because I know we talked a lot about search engine optimization, is just the one downside of SEO is it is slow. So you do need to be patient with this. The first 3 months, you're kind of seeing an improvement on some of those keywords. At 4 to 5 months, you start seeing more traffic, and that lead generation really happens more towards that like 9 to 12-month mark. So just keeping in mind, SEO is not something that's going to happen fast. This is when a lot of times you'll see people run ads. If you need to just turn that faucet on at the beginning, you don't have time to wait for SEO to catch up. Ads can be a great option, but just know that over time, you should be owning those keywords with SEO so that you don't have to constantly pay for ads.
Well, and this is what I've seen as well in the past is people running ads but not doing SEO. So as soon as they turn those ads off, all that works. I mean, you didn't have that
Poof,
foundation
done.
building up underneath. So it's just kind of, yeah, like disappears.
Right.
So you can't just run ads and hope you're going to stay up there when you turn them off. You've got to have that foundation building up underneath it.
Yep. So just like this, you're freezing cold, you need to start a fire. I'm just going to pour lighter fluid on. That's the Google ads. But in the background, you're building that fire that's going to stay burning for a long time. It just takes a little bit to catch fire. So the two of them can go really, really well together. I did also want to touch on just in terms of your budget, your time, your energy, right? When you're thinking about the content that you're putting on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, you have to realize that this content expires within a couple of hours, which is why when I look at my Instagram in the morning, who's showing up in my newsfeed is completely different than if I look at it at lunchtime. However, if I'm creating content, depth of content on my website, doing things, pouring gasoline on it, like doing a press release and getting even more media links out there, your one blog article, that one piece of content lives on the internet and helps you for 2 years with keywords. So it is so much more important when you're thinking about content, creating sticky content, things that are going to stay with you and help you. And that's cumulative versus something where it's like, I'm spending all day trying to create the perfect social media post and you don't realize that it's irrelevant within a few hours. And now you got to make another post. So not to say that you shouldn't be doing social media. You have to be relevant. But in terms of your time and energy, you are going to get much higher ROI focusing on sticky things like search engine optimization than your day-to-day, creating that perfect video or that perfect post.
Yeah. And then before we move on to social media, we did have a question come through the chat
Oh, sure.
asking about is SEO going to go away with AI coming into play? So no. Search engine is never going away. It's evolving. So all of these things still are relying on that content creation and those words. So search engine's always going to be around, but as it's going to evolve. So
Yeah,
this is
like the
when
search
just
engine now is ChatGPT. I know for
right.
me, like yes, I still use Google, but I might go to ChatGPT because it gives me a little more straightforward answer. We have an entire webinar specifically only about answer engine optimization. I can tell you quite simply, AEO is just more SEO.
Yep,
It's
it's
just
just
a,
answering questions. So
yeah.
it's like your FAQ. So instead of having just words, you're answering questions. So the AI component of it is still search engine. They're still pulling from the same content. It's just kind of an expanded, think of it as an expanded version of SEO. So it's taking those keywords and answering questions.
So, like your blog article might be an FAQ blog article rather than it just being like a paragraph. But it really is the answer engine optimization. They care about your Google reviews, they care about the content of your website, they care about your Google business profile, they care
It's
about
all pulling, yeah,
what
it's
other
all
press
pulling from the
releases
same
are out.
content. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So let's touch on social real quick. One of the things that we do that has been extremely successful is we give our clients access to the Dr. Social Whiz. This is a platform that allows you to pre-schedule your content on Instagram, Facebook. It does also post on your Google business profile, which is important. It connects to LinkedIn, it connects to YouTube and TikTok. This platform, our team goes in and puts content in there, kind of for your filler content. But this platform also has AI. So you could say, we have an event coming up on November 23rd. It's going to be about this topic. Can you write me a post about it? It will write the post for you with all of the hashtags. And then you can upload your own photo or video. And it also integrates with Canva. So this is a great way just to save a lot of time for your social. It does also schedule out stories, and you can also do reels on it as well. And there is reputation management. So this has been a great way for us to leverage AI now and help our clients to be more efficient with scheduling out their social media without making this be this time vampire, so that we can really focus on the things that we know move the needle and actually make the phone ring. I will say also, though, one of the hidden things that you will get a lot out of is being involved in these groups. So what happens a lot of time, this is like a word of mouth thing. So people, like for me, for example, I moved to a new town. And when I moved in the new town, I needed to get a new hairdresser, a new dentist, a new pediatrician, a new daycare for my kids, a new dog groomer. And so people go on these groups and they ask for recommendations all the time. So you'll see here, this is actually a town that I'm moving to. So I've already joined their Facebook group. And I took a screenshot of this. Hey, I'm looking for recommendations for a doctor that specializes in hormone therapy, preferably someone who has experience with surgical menopause. Well, 7 people have chimed in and given their 2 cents on who they recommend. Somebody's looking for a gynecologist. Somebody's looking for a functional medicine doctor. Somebody's looking for a doctor that actually listens to them and they've just moved to the area. 32 comments, 20 comments, 32 comments. You want to make sure that you and your team are in those groups because you can recommend your provider. Let's say you have an event coming up or a ladies' night out or something that you're offering. You can post about that type of stuff in the group. You just can't sell in the group. So this can be a great place for word of mouth recommendations on social media. Again, we've seen great results with people being involved in those groups. And I don't want to talk too much about social media because we could have a whole webinar about social media. But at the end of the day, you just want to make sure, again, you're positioning yourself as that expert. So, this is a doctor, he won an award and he's got, 40 some people telling him congratulations. Now, if I'm a new person and I discover their social media, this gives me a lot of social proof that this is a really great guy and that his patients really, really love him. Highlighting your team, whether it's, meet the team or you're talking about like different health months. There's every month is a health month. You can go to our website. We've got a list of every single health month and every single silly holiday throughout the whole entire year. There's
And these
always
are the
something.
these are the these are the posts that are going to get you engagement.
Yeah.
And the engagement is the biggest aspect of social media because that's what's going to get that algorithm to show your post to more people.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely. Employee of the month, at recognizing your team. This is also great because they share it on their personal profile and then they get all these comments. And so if you have a post that's going to get a lot of comments and engagement, and then the next day you're posting about your event, the algorithm says, wow, this page a lot of people really like this and they're really engaging with this page. Therefore, that post about your event is going to get shown to more people. So employee in recognizing your team is also another great way, to recognize your team and obviously get the algorithm to work for you. I do want to mention just about how to grow your followers, because so many times I get on with somebody and they have 20 followers on social media and they're posting all this stuff. I'm like, listen, you don't even have an audience. You're posting to no one. You're wasting your time doing this, right? So you got to get an audience first, just like you got to get website traffic. So start simple by following referring doctors and other local businesses that are serving that same niche as you. So think, hairdressers, health food stores, realtors, people that are going to have a local audience. You can use hashtags like hashtag, Canton, Michigan moms, for example. Making sure that your social media is listed on your website, that you're announcing it in your monthly newsletter, and you're engaging with your followers. So you can't expect people to comment on your stuff and watch your videos if you are not commenting on people's stuff and watching their videos. So, and then you can run ads, which we'll chat about in a minute. Just the difference between ads and content managers. So I think more and more the content manager, this is really, really hard to outsource. This is best if you have somebody in the office that can schedule those posts. And, we can give people software to do that to make it easy. But these are the people that are posting that day-to-day, what's going on in the office, what's happening in the office. The person that's running ads, this is usually where you want to outsource it, because the really great millennial that works at your office, it's amazing at doing your day-to-day content, may not know exactly how to effectively run a targeted ad, targeting the right type of people with the right type of language. So when you want to run ads, that is really where it's good to kind of outsource it to somebody that's an expert in that. So just touching on social media ads, the nice thing about it is you can really look at the cities, the gender, the age range, the income level. You can embed forms where it allows you to build an email list. So that's a great place to think about, hey, you know what, I'm new, or I was an ER doctor. Now I'm starting my own private practice. I don't have people to bring with me. I've got to start from scratch. How are you going to build that email list? A great way to do that is through running ads. It can be for an offer. It could be for a free guide. So maybe you're having them download an ebook, or like a webinar, like what we are doing here today. You have people register for the webinar or register for your event. Now that's helping you to build your email list. And then we can automate the follow-up process. So it's not this daunting thing that your staff has to deal with. We have ways to do emails, to do text messages, to do voicemail drops that will get in touch with these people to actually convert them. Because that, again, to me, a lot of times when I talk to people about their ads not converting, it's not that the ad was bad, it's that the follow-up was bad, right? So if we can automate that process and make it where it's not a burdensome thing for your staff, this is really where technology, and this has come a long way, even in the last 12 months. The voicemail drops, some of the retargeting that we're able to do through these automations has come a long way just since last year.
Yeah, and if you're running an ad, you always want to have it connected to some sort of funnel, because you're going to get more return on that and more conversion if you're reaching out to that patient as soon as they've opted in and they're still thinking about it. If you're waiting 4 or 5 days, they forgot they opted into this. They've already opted into 5 other things at that point, and they don't know who you are, what you're talking about.
Yep.
So this is a way to take that piece out so you don't have to rely on your office to track it and quick make those calls. We connect it to a lead funnel that then automatically reaches out to them as soon as they're opting in. So we're reaching them right when it's right up front of mind.
Yep. All right, cool. All right, so we got a little under 10 minutes, so I want to make sure we get through everything here. So we talked about education-based marketing. Email marketing, you guys, in this space, in healthcare, doctors have the #2 open rate of any email that goes out. The only thing that beats doctors is religious organizations. So I don't want you to think of email marketing like Pottery Barn that's emailing you 20% off furniture sale every single month. If your email newsletters are helpful, you are going to generate 50% more sales ready leads at a 33% lower cost, because this, as we said at the beginning, these are the people that are farther down. They already have some familiarity with who you are. Now we've just got to get them over the edge to get them to make an appointment. So Email marketing outperforms social, it outperforms SEO, and it outperforms ads in terms of conversion. We do a monthly email newsletter that goes out to our clients' patients every single month. You can see we've got really high open rates because we're giving value. It's not salesy. And here's a doctor that texted us, hey, you know what? One of my patients must have saw the newsletter and booked a consult for weight loss. So she was really excited about that. We do a monthly email newsletter. Our clients, Sherry actually is the brains behind a lot of our newsletters and helps put together the content. And then, of course, we customize it for each client to make sure it's with their branding and the subjects that they want to talk about that particular month. But this is something that people will tell you, honestly, like you'll be shocked. They'll tell you they made the pumpkin spice glow smoothie in October when they see you. So it's something that they save. And then also in that, you can ask for reviews, highlight testimonials, etc. And then you also can use email and texting to get people back in. So we do a lot with offices that do intimate wellness. So this is a particular treatment that you got to get 3 of them done. And then once a year, you got to come in and get a touch-up treatment. There's lots and lots of those sort of treatments out there. You can say, hey, you know what? Who's due for their 12-month treatment? You drop them in a funnel. It sends them an email. It sends them a text message to get them to come back in for that consultation to make sure that they're maintaining results and see if they need a touch-up treatment. And then last but not least, the most important, highest converting thing that you can do for your marketing, you can literally pay for your entire marketing with one good event, your entire year marketing. And this is also the best way for you to pay off equipment. So events achieve 3 goals. Number 1, they get your name out there. You're seen as a community leader. You're going to get people that come to this that are like, yes, I'm ready to take action. I'm going to take advantage of the event only pricing, or you know what? Hey, I've been putting my health out long enough. This is my year to take care of myself. I'm going to move forward. You are also going to have people that maybe aren't ready that day, right? But they've met you. They've met your team. They've heard your expertise. They're going to continue to have the problems that they have. And if you're staying in touch with them with your newsletters and on your social and all of that, this is your very lucrative future pipeline. People ask us all the time, what is the number 1 ROI thing you can do? We purposely engineer events into our program because we know nothing proves marketing works like butts in the seat. Nothing proves marketing works than 212 people registered for this webinar, right? So this is a great way for you to also stand out as that authority. So we help our clients come up with, we get very creative with these events. The M Factor, this is a menopause documentary. We bought the rights to this movie. We have doctors doing this at libraries, at their office, at movie theaters. It's an excellent documentary on menopause. This doctor is partnering with, so this is a functional medicine doctor that partnered with an aesthetic provider in her same building. Both of them invited their whole entire list. Now it's a win-win for both of them. They got a fun ladies' night out that they can invite people to. And I think this doctor had, over 100 people at each one of. She's done a couple of these. Whether it's an event specifically launching a new service, these are all just examples. I will tell you guys, anything related to midlife will get a lot of people. So look for other opportunities too to speak in front of other groups. So Dr. Harris, she's been a longtime client of ours. She's done a bazillion events. She's now speaking and doing talks at her church in front of ladies groups. So there are other opportunities to partner with other businesses and be a speaker at some of these events and get your name out there above and beyond, just your own patient base. But
some of the good places too that we've done events with that are, will offer the space up free libraries. So your local library will help you host an event, and then those 55 plus communities. So, anything, if you're doing anything in the older age health demographic.
Hey, I'm close to that age.
I know. I mean, that's a good space to hit. And they're always open to, providing resources for their members.
Yeah, speaking of that, the other ones that are really, again, this is really where I feel like people like working with our team because just of a lot of the ideas that we have. And we learn great ideas from our clients and then we share them with other clients because we don't work with competitors. But Pure Barre, so this is a bar exercise class place, Orange Theory, CrossFit, yoga studios. A lot of times they want to partner with wellness associated businesses. Again, it's a win-win for them, right? You have people you're going to tell about this event that aren't members at their place. and vice versa. So it's really a no-brainer for them to partner with you. I go to Pure Barre and they have like a pop-up, like just a few weeks ago, they had a wellness center in there and you could get like a B12 shot for 35 bucks after class. And then she was talking about NAD and other peptides and they're like right down the street. So I thought that was a really, really smart partnership. So there's lots of different ways to do these. The point is that if I were you, and you're thinking about Q1 of 2026, you should have an event or a webinar planned in those first 90 days. I can promise you it will pay for your entire marketing spend. Webinars is another great thing. So let's say you're a telehealth provider, right? This is great. Or, hey, you know what? You're in a snowy place like where I live in Michigan, and we're not doing an event in January because the weather's too unpredictable. This can be a great place because you're going to be able to get in front of the people that maybe aren't available that day and time to go to your event. This also can be pre-recorded. So you do it once, just like this webinar we're doing today. We're going to be able to use this the whole entire 2026. And it's something that we're recording at the end of 2025. So it's something that can be evergreen, that can help you as a lead generating and education platform for your marketing. Our team helps with all of these. So everything from your slide deck, we have a lot of these topics already done. Our team is really talented as far as like making you look amazing and putting together a great presentation if you do want to do more of a formal kind of slide deck presentation. And then we know every single person that's registered for this. So we have a landing page, we know their name, email, and their phone number. And then if it is a webinar, we can make it evergreen. And then as we mentioned, all of that automation, the follow-ups, the text messages, the voicemail drops, all of that can be done automatically to convert those people into patients. One other fun thing that we do, and I think this is really, again, let's work smarter, not harder. We strip the audio of the webinar and we can make it a podcast episode. We have a podcast called Top Docs. It's on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Now all of a sudden your website says, hey, listen to Dr. Smith as seen on, listen to my episode on the Top Docs podcast where I was talking about, the truth about bioidentical hormones. So it's another great place to kind of reach those busy women that are just popping those earbuds in, taking their dog on a walk, and now you're able to educate and market at the same time. As far as getting the word out, the one thing that I will say about events and webinars is you need to give yourself enough time to get the word out. You are targeting primarily busy professional people. These people already know what work trip they have, what kid event that they've got to go to, all of these other obligations that they're juggling. If you only give them 2 weeks notice, chances are they're not going to be able to make it. So you want to make sure you give yourself a good solid 6 weeks to market it and utilize Eventbrite. This is a great place to have people register for your event. Eventbrite actually will even tell people that aren't even on your list, hey, this is an interesting event that's in your area that you might be interested in. And we will get people to register that way. You're sending out emails, you're posting about it on social, you're posting about it in those Facebook groups we talked about. Your Google business profile, you can add events on there. That tells Google that you have an event coming up. And then your Chamber of Commerce, as well as doing press releases. So you get a little bit of a search engine optimization boost. And then also you get media exposure for your events. So this is our marketing checklist. Again, I mentioned this is unusual that we went over this much information. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, holy crap, that is so much information. I don't even know where to start. That's okay. You don't need to implement every single one of these things. We really wanted to go over this so that you had a comprehensive overview of marketing and pick a couple of ideas that you think, hey, you know what? I want to start working on that for next year. This is really how I would look at it. Just look at your marketing in 90-day chunks. Every 90 days, you always have to have search engine optimization and answer engine optimization going on just to be relevant and even get found. Press releases. It's a great idea to do at least one per quarter. That helps you with media exposure, backlinks. You've got your social going on. You've got your newsletter going out every month. You're always asking for reviews and you've got your event or webinar. Then you're going to rinse and repeat that the next quarter. Your talk could literally be the same talk. You're just wrapping it in different wrapping paper. So instead of New Year, New You, now it's spring into wellness, or it's menopause month, or a fall theme. And then you've got the holiday theme. So you're just looking at everything in 90-day periods. It'll help it to be a lot less overwhelming and allow you to really have a very well-oiled machine in terms of consistency in your marketing throughout the year. So this is again is just a little bit about what we do. We recommend specific programs. We like to do a marketing strategy call, really just to get an idea of kind of where you guys are at, what you're doing well at, what are some of the areas that you feel like you might need some help, and then we can recommend what would be best for you. So I always like to say, you know what, today's the day, right? We got to figure out, are we kicking the can down the road? Or are we ready to kind of take a new path and really make 2026 the best year yet? If you need help with any of these things, we are more than happy to do a marketing strategy. You guys already took the time to invest in yourself to watch this. I am more than happy to get on a call with you and talk about specifics of any of the things that kind of resonated with you. So you can scan this. You can also just go to our website, Medical Marketing Whiz. You'll get access to our calendar and then you can schedule with us. Really, who we like to work with, we like to work with people that want to attract high quality patients. A lot of people have a mix of cash and insurance, or maybe they're doing all cash. You have the staff in place to ensure a great patient experience. That is really important. Marketing can make the phone ring. If the person that answers the phone is crabby, marketing isn't going to help convert that person into a patient. So we want to make sure you've got staff, somebody that's really committed to your success, that you've got the right people, and that you are fun to deal with. We like working with fun people. We have a great attitude, and we like working with people with great attitudes. People that we do not like to work with, who are not good fit with us, anybody that's looking for a miracle in a couple of months, right? There is no such thing. I will always under promise and over deliver. Marketing in this space it is it is a lot, right? This is a lot more than like marketing a roofer and my roof is leaking and I just go to Google because I'm in a panic and I need a new roofer and I look up their reviews and I call them. This is people's health and wellness. So it is something that does take time. Also, just making sure that yes, we can take a lot of the burden from you, but you still have to be somewhat involved, right? There's no such thing as like, I'm not going to do anything and I'm just going to get all these people to call me. And then obviously like the kick the can people, we have a waiting list of clients in a lot of cases. So we want to make sure that we're ready to work with people that want to take action. Okay, I will shut up because I have done a lot of talking, as has Sherry. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this. All right, so we had everybody put in here.
We did.
Do you have a winner, Sherry?
I do have a winner. It is, and I'm finding the name because I just have the website. Smiley Aesthetics, Paige Connor. Is that,
Paige Connor.
are you still
Hopefully
with us,
Paige is
Paige?
still on. Paige won a new website, so we will get in touch with you. Congratulations. But that isn't it, right? Everybody who is on here, you guys are going to get our book. Sherry and I have a book on Amazon called Anti-Aging and Longevity Marketing. We will mail you this book in the mail and we will pay for the shipping. So you guys, everybody that is on the webinar is, and even if you're watching the replay, you will get a free copy of that. That is everything we went over today written out for you in detail. It's really, really helpful. And then as I mentioned, we are happy to do that marketing analysis. It's about a 30-page report, and then we spend a good amount of time going through it, and then we can really give you some recommendations. So every single one of you guys will get that. This is a little bit about the marketing analysis and what's included. So there's an SEO report. We do an AI analysis as well. We look up your citations and your listings so we can see if there's any inconsistencies there. It's always nice to just get a SEO scan of your website just to kind of get a feel for how good or not good it is. And then we'll also do some analysis of social media. Your scan will look like this. So this is one of the things Sherry was talking about, the name, address, phone number score. So just making sure some of that cleanup that needs to be done, you guys will get that scan. We'll look at your website page speed. We'll look at if you have correct meta descriptions on your website. I don't know how much time we have for questions because I think I'm actually
I think we've run over
my next
actually.
call. But hopefully you guys hopefully
If
you
you
got
have
some
questions,
value out of
email
this.
us. Yeah.
Yes, email us, book a strategy call. We will go over any questions that you guys have. Here's how to get in touch with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you again to all of our company sponsors that helped
Yes.
us to get the word out for this. And we wish you guys a fabulous next 12 months and look forward to hearing about all of your successes.
Yeah, hopefully we'll meet some of you that were on here today.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.